Alright, here we go with another weekly game, and this time I'm not going to have two runs in the same video. I'm just so pushed for time this week, so we're going to have to just settle for one, and it's quite a short one as well. But hopefully that will be a refreshing change after some of the long drawn out games I've had recently. Now, tomorrow is technically the last day of the weekly. However, since I've recorded so much material, there's probably going to be videos from this weekly spread out over the next couple of weeks, especially some of the challenge type runs, things that I would be logging on the website. I don't want to upload, 4 or 5 of them in 1 week. So there's lots more material still to see the light of day from this pack. But onto this run, and I actually pass up the rat there, but then I'm going to roll the double rat. In fact, I passed up rat twice there, and then we get the double. So I think here I could just sell the 2 ducks and the fish and bring in both rats now. In fact, that would probably be better because we'd have more chance of winning the next battle. But maybe because they had the fish plus cone snail, we would have lost anyway. Actually, we're going to tie, so maybe we could have won there. It's always hard to tell with rats since, if you're playing the 2 rats, you're always going to be losing 1 health off the unit behind as a result of the dirty rat. So I could have probably taken goose there as well instead of the fish, since we have the high health rat. But I'm just going to take African penguin, try and get the rat stats up. Now obviously rat, it's like a classic pet in pack 1, even though it's fairly, not that many people play it. But it clearly can give the other team quite a few boosts. If they have kangaroo, if they have ox in the original turtle pack. In this pack we've got musk ox, so you can end up hurting your own team. But that's the entire point of the pet, and it wouldn't be as fun if it didn't sabotage your own team sometimes. So here we're taking all 3 of the early game scalers. If you're trying to use a weaker, or I don't know if it's necessarily fair to say rat's weak, but one of the pets that isn't the strongest, let's say that. If you're trying to do that or use a pet like that in a build, usually you're going to need a lot of scaling. And in this pack, these 3 pets is basically it for the early game. Well, maybe that's not true. There is worm, there is dromedary. But having tried to use worm quite a few times in this, I think it's really not great. You need pretty good luck to get the level 2 worm almost immediately. And without rabbit, you're not getting the extra benefit. It does make me think, someone did ask this morning that what other things would I have changed? And I feel like one of the things that I wish I hadn't done, and it was it was partly because the update, the mini balance update that included the hare and the pigeon dropped a day before I was due to submit this pack. So I left in flying squirrel despite it getting a pretty heavy nerf. And honestly, having played the pack quite a bit, I don't think you even need it. You can just take puppy or gharial and look for waffle. And that's what we're actually going to do in this run. I'm going to take the puppy and keep it, and I'm just freezing the waffle there so that I can refresh the lasagna when I need it. Although I guess I can also use the waffle on the African penguin as well. But yeah, I wish I'd probably left flying squirrel out and kept regular squirrel in. Then that probably makes the worm a bit more relevant because you can freeze the apples and then reduce the cost with the squirrel. I think paying the 2 gold for the apple early, it doesn't feel that great. Worm's base stat line is pretty awful. So yeah, that's one thing that I think I would probably change. But here, you can see we used the waffle on the puppy. We're just going to switch over now. We're on 6 trophies and we have the 2 fairly sizable units. So I'm going to try and get skewer onto both the rats. So the idea is that, you can do this kind of a team in regular turtle pack. You have rat, and then you have a pet behind with chili, and then that means that you can get an extra chili attack because of the dirty rat. So you can see there we did multiple skewer hits. And skewer is obviously the substitute for chili in this pack. Maybe I didn't mention that in the first video, but snapping turtle does replace turtle, but I also took chili out. So you're relying on skewer. And we have the weakness from the puppy, which is something you don't have access to in regular pack 1, which means that you can make the skewer a bit more effective. And yeah, it's a strategy I haven't seen that many people doing. I guess, you do, because flying squirrel is weaker, there are probably fewer teams going for keeping the toy pets long term, although I have seen a few. So here we do get the snapping turtle, and I'm going to ditch the scaling and get the double skewer. Normally the skewer on the front rat wouldn't really do much, but because we have the weakness as well, and it's guaranteed to go first, it's actually going to go pretty wild here. The muskox is going to get hit so many times as a result of the weakness, and we actually kill the muskox off. I think that was 4 skewer hits with weakness, and the muskox was completely removed without even getting to attack. We find another puppy as well, so if we start to lose, we can potentially get the level 3 weakness. And I spend the waffle because I find the puppy in the shop. Now this is crazy because I face opposing rat, opposing weakness. So rat and puppy facing off. I've hardly seen any rat teams, and somehow the matchmaker managed to find one for me here. So we actually lose there, which was pretty shocking. But props to that player for doing the same thing. I don't think they had the skewer, but they did have the blowfish, and the idea there was that the rats were going to trigger the blowfish and deal extra damage via the weakness. So here I probably shouldn't have fed the seal. A little bit of attack. I should have just probably purchased the mammoth and kept it further back, because we're going to get rid of the seal. And again here, the skewer is going to let us kill the gorilla there, because the dirty rat spawned in front of it. And we actually win because they only get the snapping turtle. I think they're probably, if they'd got a rooster or something there, it would have been a tie. So the seal is gone, but we can just buy another seal if there's nothing better. There is mammoth, but on 9 wins, better just throw the seal in there, buy the potato, and we can keep the mammoth. So we're kind of using seal as a strange buy-sell engine. And another blowfish team, but the skewer is going to result in the blowfish getting killed off before it can do any serious damage. And there we go, double rat, double skewer, double weakness.